Hi guys, welcome to Rare Reality Radio, and I'm your host, Tapuye. Today, we're looking at AfriCom. If you're hearing the name for the first time, you think it's one African telecommunications company or something, but it's not. AfriCom is an acronym for US Africa Command. Okay, it is a division of the United States Department of Defense. Okay, the parent command is the US European Command. Okay, established in 1952. All right. So sometime in 2000, a U.S. military officer suggested that there should be a separate African command, running in the continent. So by 2004, after a posture review, the EUCOM started setting up cooperative security posts in Africa. Okay, these posts later became the foundation for what we now know as AfriCom. In 2006, U.S. Defense Secretary wrote to then President George Bush to create this separate African command. Okay, the following year, the Congress approved, because George Bush approved of it, so the Congress approved and allocated $500 million for the Trans-Saharan war against Al-Qaeda. Since its inception, the African Command has carried out numerous airstrikes on Somalia till today. In Burundi, they have been dropping bombs. They dropped bombs in Nigeria, in Iran one time, and they blamed it on the Nigerian government because the Nigerian government were depending on the intel from AfriCom, right? AfriCom bombed Libya and Gaddafi. It was AfriCom. Okay, so the real question is, why really are these bases set up? Because the conflict they claim to come to curb in Africa has tripled since their arrival. Okay, in the words of Kwame Nkrumah, in his book, Neo-Colonialism, The Last Stage of Imperialism, he outlined there that the primary purpose of these bases in Africa is to secure the minerals. Okay, because our African minerals are integral for the European society. And we dare not wake up and own our own minerals. So the soldiers outstretch their duties and make sure the minerals are coming steadily and the market supply is there. Okay? These are the real reasons. The second one is because of the competition, with other powers like Russia and China, because Russia and China are beginning to be actively involved in the affairs of Africa. Okay, how does this affect Burkina Faso directly? If you look at their mission and their modus operandi on their websites, you will see that their emphasis on securing American and European interests, and they say they go against maligners. What are the interests? Minerals, So that's why after the 2025 posture review, the posture review again, remember the last posture review followed an action where they started establishing corporate security locations in Africa. Okay, here is another posture review that is going to be followed by another action. So Michael Lanley, presented to the Senate Committee on Arms that Troare is using the minerals. In that statement, their major problem was stated, but they put it like they are for the people. They are never for the people. Never. They have never been. Okay, so it is the minerals. Now what's happening in Burkina Faso? The military leader Ibrahim Troare and his counterparts in Niger and Mali have chased away the foreign forces. They chased away foreign forces. Okay, and France is in the US European Command. They are in partnership with France. So that minerals that the soldiers outstretched to make sure gets to their masters are not getting there anymore. So that's why they say things like he's using the minerals to protect himself. Okay, these agencies, foreign military agencies in our on our continent, is a major problem for us. The African Union raised a concern some time ago about the increase of these military bases, but they couldn't do anything more than complain because the African Union peacekeeping missions are funded 98% by, by the European Command. AfriCom headquarters is in Germany, right? And this is because the move generally in Africa is not to let them set up the headquarters here. They don't even want the base. So South Africa particularly, rejected this idea. But Botswana and Liberia offered themselves to host the headquarters. So after much deliberations, and then the African Union was able, with South Africa, to convince them to back off. Okay. Then sometime in 2001, when the president of Nigeria at the time, Muhammad Buhari, went to see the US Secretary of State, he begged them to bring the headquarters of AfriCom to Africa to help fight insurgency. And that position he took, made Africa's position shaky. One would have thought that as the giant of Africa, Nigeria would take a firm stance against, the establishment of US military bases on our continent. But no, I don't even know if these people are outright ignorant and oblivious of these things, or they are just outright sellouts. I do not know which one to believe. But one thing I know is that the Africans are waiting for Nigeria to wake up. Nigeria is the most populous black settlement in the world. If Nigeria wakes up, every black man around the world will feel like he has a home. But Nigeria is asleep. Our current president, while other people are chasing away France from their country as colonial masters, they're trying to do their thing as independent states. Our president is traveling to France every other weekend like he has family there. These people are taking our minerals, our wealth, human resource, everything. They call us third world nations, poor countries, but they are here harvesting what is rightfully ours, distract us with other things, bribe a few. These are the real issues we need to tackle. Now they are trying to assassinate Ibrahim Troare of Burkina Faso. He has survived over 15 attempts just in 2 years or more, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, we all need to stand by him. He's not only fighting for Burkina Faso, he's fighting for Africa, he's fighting for the future of our children. For the first time in the history of Africa, we are not operating under the Berlin Conference, and they are mad at it. The minerals in Niger powers France. That's why they are worried. Trying to set up counter operations to destabilize them. We need to wake up, my people. We need to wake up, my people. If we lose this energy that Ibrahim Troare is putting out, we'll lose it for a long time. Now the history is happening again before us. This is what happened to Thomas Sankara. This is what happened to Patrice Lumumba. This is what happened to Idi Amin. All the African leaders, this is what happened to Gaddafi. Any African leader whose agenda is really to place Africa, as priority and build us to the world standard, they have a problem with it. They do not have a problem when African leaders sit in power for donkey years and impoverish their people. They do not call them dictators. Once an African leader is doing for the African people good things and the things that will lift us as a people and as a nation, they are annoyed. They label him dictator. They want to kill, they want to destroy, they want to invade. And they set up fake news to make us believe our own people are evil. I remember jubilating when Abacha passed on. I was ignorant of the fact that Abacha put up a stable economy. Abacha did not allow the Western thieves to have their hands in our pockets, and they were mad. They said they are returning looted funds. Do thieves return money? Do thieves return treasures? The real issue is that Abacha cut them off. Okay, so Abacha was banking with the people he trusted, okay, and not with the Western powers. So when he died, they tried to collect these monies in different ways, and it was impossible. So they labeled it stolen money. You know, you have to understand that these people do not care about us in any way. They do not care about us in any way. People are dying in Nigeria, in Plateau, in Benue, by the hands of these terrorists. But nobody's saying anything about it. AfriCom did not report that in their review. People are dying in Nigeria in their hundreds. And AfriCom did not say a word. But in Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Troare has formed new alliances. Ibrahim Troare is building infrastructure for his people. He has made education free. He has set up a bank. I'm sure that is the one that hit them really hard. Okay. He has set up a bank alongside his alliance in the Sahel. Okay. They are printing their own money. They are keeping their own money. They are selling their own minerals to the world. And it is a problem for the Western thieves. So they set up a meeting in their Congress and speak of how to tarnish his image and have a reason to invade. Since when did AfriCom care about Africa? People have been dying in the Congo for over 90 years. Nobody's talking about it. People are dying in Eritrea, in Somalia, and nobody is talking about it. But Ibrahim Troare is trying to give us a possibility of an Africa to be proud of. And they are mad. We have to learn from these things that are happening, and not see it as a trend. It is not a trend. It is an awakening. It is your future. Your future is at stake. Okay? So I encourage the young Africans to stand by Troare. Troare is only 36 years old. He is one of ours. Okay? Stand by him. Let's see how they want to invade Burkina Faso. Okay, they have tried so many ways from the back doors and it's not working. And now they are coming head on, direct. History is repeating itself. This is why it is important to know your history and follow it up so that when things like this are happening again, you can see and call it out. Okay? Power to the people of the Sahel. Power to the people of Africa. Bless, peace, and love.